guys? So happy to be with you and to start your day right and to even get the opportunity to start your week right with the StartRight fitness training we have this morning. We're going to start off by doing some stretching, then we'll move to some dynamic warm-ups, and then we'll finish off with a little bit of strength training at the end. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start off today by going into the 90-90 stretch. So we'll go ahead and hop down on the floor. And again, as you guys know, we want to create 90-degree angles at every single joint, hence 90-90 stretch, right? So 90-degree angles at the ankle, 90-degree angle at the knees, and the back ankle as well. All right, and we're going to focus on just 5 breaths. 1, big breath in through your nose, out through the mouth. 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 breaths. Great job, guys. Let's go ahead and switch sides. All right. I'm going to have you guys go at your own pace for your breaths here. And I just want to quickly, but I want to share with you guys something that's been on my mind, a spiritual thought, as I was studying the book of Enos this week, and about prayer. And I started to think a lot about, I don't know why, I kind of just went into this another world in my head of just imagining what the situation must have been like for Enos when he was handed the book and they're like, hey, we want you to write some stuff. And he's like, oh man, what am I going to tell my future posterity? And I think the first thing that came to his mind was, what was the most impactful spiritual experience that I had in my life? And I want to share that with my posterity. And I started to think about that in my own life, and I want to share just real quickly a spiritual experience that I had while I was on my mission. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next stretch. Next one we're going to move into is the half kneeling stretch. So we're going to get up into this half kneeling position. Again, you want to make sure that your shoulder, hip, and knee are all in a completely straight line. You want to really engage and squeeze the glute of the knee that's down. So that's going to help you to, as you squeeze it, it'll help to push your pelvis forward, which you get a nice deep stretch into your hip flexors. So let's go ahead and stretch here, and then we'll switch legs. All right. So the spiritual experience I want to share with you while I was on my mission is when I first got out there. And when you first get out, you study a lot about the scriptures and the gospel while you're in the MTC, and you're kind of on a spiritual high. But then when you get out into the real world, you get a large dose of reality, and it's just everything gets overwhelming, and it's really easy for the adversary to kind of slip in, right, and give you a lot of self-doubt and things like that. And at that point, while I was on my mission, let's go ahead and switch legs. When I was on my mission, I got really, really sick when I first got there. And I served in a more third world area in Mexico. And I don't know if it was something I ate or drank, but I got really, really sick and I couldn't keep any food down for about a week. I was just constantly throwing up, and everything I just put down and just come back up again. And at that point in my life, that was probably the most sick I had ever been. And so when you experience something for the first time and it's a hard thing for the first time, you automatically go to this assumption that the next step beyond this must be like dying or something, right? And so all of a sudden my young brain starts to assume the worst and worried that I wouldn't get the proper help and care that I needed, and at the time my Spanish was not that great, and so I was fearful of communicating really well to doctors so they could understand what my needs were. And I remember kneeling down and praying. Good. Real quick before I explain this, let's go on to the next stretch. We're gonna go ahead and just stretch out your neck. So why don't we while we're here, I just want you guys to gently we're gonna put some pressure on your neck, and I want you to look down at the pocket. If you're not wearing a short, pants with pockets, that's okay, just where the pocket would be. I just want you to look down where that pocket would be. Look down, and then I want you, of the opposite arm, really try to push your shoulder blade as if you're trying to tuck it into your back pocket. So tuck this one down in your back pocket, look into the side pocket, and then just gently give this a little stretch. All right, so while you're stretching this, I'm gonna just finish my story, but so I was, at that point, I knelt down in prayer out of desperation, and I prayed to Heavenly Father, and I said, you know, Heavenly Father, if this is true, I will stick this out. And you know, if I do die, then I know I'm on the Lord's errand and it will be fine. But then if this is all not true, then I want to go home because I was the most miserable I'd ever been. And I remember kneeling down and I asked that very sincere prayer, having a perfect faith that I would receive an answer. And I had the most amazing experience happen to me. And I received an answer in that moment that it was true, that Joseph Smith did in fact see God the Father in Jesus Christ. And he did in fact translate the Book of Mormon. And I received that witness in that prayer, in that moment, in that time of need, when I prayed with very sincere faith that I would receive an answer. And also I was in a place mentally where I was really wanting to know the truth. And I learned some things about prayer that I think Enos learned when he had his spiritual experience that he wanted to share. The thing that I learned from prayer is that you have to want it. You have to want to know the truth, and you have to want to know the answers that you're seeking out more than anything. But I promise you, as you seek that desire to know, that Heavenly Father will bless you with that. And when we pray to Him for sincere answers, wanting to know the truth, and we ask in faith, meaning that we are going to take action upon the answers that we receive, because I think Heavenly Father really values taking action and doing more. And so if it's not going to yield us to take action, chances are He may not give us that answer. And so it's really important that when you seek out the truth and He knows that you're going to take action on it, in this case, I promised Heavenly Father, if I got an answer, that I was going to stay out there and I was going to serve to the best of my ability, even if it meant dying from the sickness that I had had, right? And I just want to share that witness and that testimony with you, as Enos did, because that was a moment in time that I will remember for the rest of my life. And I know that meant that Enos' story meant that much to him, and that's why he felt the need to share that one particular story above all else, because he wanted to know the truth, and he wanted to teach an important lesson about prayer, as hopefully you will feel that from my story as well. All right, love you guys. Let's go ahead and dive into our next stretch. So we're going to move into the Spider-Man stretch. So you're going to be in push-up position. Go ahead and bring one leg up. Let's get a nice deep stretch into that glute and hamstring. Also really flex that toe in so you can get a nice stretch into your calves and even your hip flexor on the back leg here. Again, we're shooting for about 5 breaths. I know we probably went a little longer on some of those other stretches because I wanted to share my story with you. I hopefully it was worth it, worth the extra stretch on your neck and your hip flexors. All right, let's go ahead and keep cruising. Next one we're going to move into is child's pose. So this is a yoga move, but to hopefully help stretch out your lats a little bit. When you guys sit for long periods of time, you oftentimes can get really, really tight right through here when you're sitting, and this gets tight and really locks up your shoulders. So I want to get a nice stretch there. So we're just going to plant our flexor toes, which means we're just going to point your toes out, and you're going to sit down on your heels, and we're just going to reach those hands out in front. Getting a nice stretch into the lats, maybe a good stretch through the lower back as well. Nice job, guys. Let's go ahead and move into dynamic warm-up. So first thing we're gonna do is really practice that marching, and then we'll start moving to lateral marching and go from there. So if you guys remember, when we march, We drive that knee really tall. Make sure we have good upright posture. We're not leaning forward. We're not pushing forward every single time we drive the knee up. Make sure that I'm staying upright. Okay. Nice, here we go. Start getting your heart rate up. So really drive those knees. Try to be explosive with your movements. Make sure your arms are opposite arm, opposite leg. Nice job, guys. Okay, we're gonna start moving laterally now. Here we go. All right, nice job, and rest. Okay, next up we've got Frankenstein walks. So, straight leg, reach across with the opposite arm. Here we go. All right, now we're gonna move to glute stretch. So that's bringing one leg up like you're marching. Grab the outside of the knee, top of the ankle. A nice deep stretch. Losing my balance. Let's get one more on each leg. Here we go. Okay, next up we've got quad stretch. So you're just gonna grab the back of your ankle, flex your toe down, hinge the hip, and reach out in front. Switching legs. Again, if you're struggling to be able to reach back, hinge the hip back, and reach at the same time, you go ahead and just hold on to something nearby, a table, or if you want to just start by staying upright, that's okay too. The progressions are then to hinge the hip and move back. All right, let's get one more on each leg. Okay, last one. Great job, guys. Okay, next up we got lateral lunge. Here we go. So spread those legs out, lunge to one side. Get a nice stretch into those groin muscles. Switching legs, here we go. Switching legs, here we go. All right, last one, here we go. Great job. Okay, next up, we've got inchworm. We're gonna do 3 inchworms, and then we'll do some sneaky bear crawls.
Go down, touch your toes. We're just gonna walk out. We're just gonna walk out to a push-up position today. Do one push-up and inch those toes up towards your hands.
All right. Take a step back, and we'll do it again. Okay, last one. Okay, and then last up, we've got sneaky bear crawl.
So if you guys remember, last time we did sneaky bear, you want to make sure that your shoulder is directly over your wrist and that your hips are over your knees. Flexing your toes in, we're just going to elevate those knees slightly, and then we're going to go opposite arm, opposite leg. Here we go. Okay, let's try going backwards. Here we go. And forwards. And backwards. Great job, guys. Let's go ahead and grab a quick drink of water.
Give you guys about 10 more seconds. Get a quick swig, and then we're gonna finish off with just a few minutes, about 4 minutes or so of push-ups. The progression I'll show you will be to bring your knee up to your elbow on the push-up. We're gonna do 5 on each side, and then we're gonna do lunges, elbow to knee, 5 with each leg, and then we're gonna do a cross crunch. And we're gonna do 8 of those on each side, okay? All right, here we go. Let's go ahead and dive in for just a few minutes on our last little bit here, okay? So, push-up position, here we go. Coming down, bringing the knee to your elbow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nice job, switching sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Great job, here we go. Lunges. So lunging back, and then bring your elbow to your knee. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Switching legs, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Great job. Okay, now we got the cross crunch. So you're just gonna lay on the ground, knees bent. You're gonna cross one leg over, bring one hand behind, really use your core to come up and rotate, bring that elbow to your knee. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, 9. Let's go and switch sides. My bad. I gave you an extra one. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Great job. Here we go. Let's try to hustle and get through one more round of this, and then we'll call it a day, okay? Here we go. Push-ups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Switching sides. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Here we go. We got our lunges come next. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Switching legs. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Okay, we got cross crunches, and we'll call it a day. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, I'll give you an extra one again. 9. Here we go, switch the sides. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right, guys, that's time. Great job today. Proud of you, and we will see you at 10:30 for your StartRight exercise. We'll see you there.